Thanks for staying with us. The Around Town show continues now with all the good and positive in our community. And I get invited to many different events, to MC, to do dinner speaking engagements, to open places. And I get to meet some really interesting people. This past week, I got to meet the Baton Rouge Tea Party. Well, of course, I was fascinated by them, wanted to share it with you at home. Joining me now is the most recent president of the Baton Rouge Tea Party, Josh Jarreau.
Thank you for having me. Yes, you got it perfect.
Now, when I came out to your event, one thing I told the audience is, I went to the Baton Rouge Tea Party and there was no tea. So I know everybody from the Baton Rouge Tea Party is joining us today, so look at this, everybody. I've actually got some tea for us to start off with. First of all, what is the Tea Party? Tell us the history of the Tea Party.
Well, the Tea Party began when Rick Santelli stood on the floor at the Exchange, I think in Chicago, and said that, that Americans were tired of paying for other people's home mortgages. And that was the idea, that was really how the Tea Party organization began. People, the silent majority, had its fill with being taxed and being overburdened. And I'll give you an example. The TARP bill was passed by both parties, both Republicans and Democrats. And basically what it did was it passed on an excessive tax burden to the middle-class citizen, increased a huge deficit on future tax-paying citizens. So the idea there was that we couldn't continue to have this tax burden on the middle class, and Rick Santelli understood that, and so did the American people.
And you guys are real grassroots.
Sure, we're a nonpartisan grassroots organization.
And what I think is interesting, though, is how passionate you all are. But I have to be honest with you, and folks, I'm going to be really honest here. I thought you were a little of a hippie organization till I came out and saw the Baton Rouge Tea Party, and then most of them were my viewers. Most of these people were just caring American citizens who care about America. Now, the Baton Rouge Tea Party, you've recently taken over as president. Do you have a mission, a platform that you work from?
The Baton Rouge Tea Party and the Tea Party movement as a whole, it stands for, the idea it believes in is smaller government, lower taxes, and more personal freedom. That's the idea behind it.
That sounds like libertarianism.
Well, it could be, but I mean, the fact is we are a nonpartisan group, so we're not a political party. We want people to...
You're almost like a philosophy as opposed to political.
Sure, exactly. If you look at it this way, Scott, as the size of government increases and they continue to add more agencies, so does the scope of government. The scope of government increases as well. With every new agency, they also create new acts, new regulations that get passed on to you and I.
So as government increases, our rights decreases.
Well, that's exactly right. If it takes more money to move that larger government, and the larger that government is, the more engaged it's going to be in deciding what you and I can and can't do and how we can interact. But a smaller government takes less of your hard-earned tax dollars, and by its nature, it puts less restrictions on how you can and can't interact.
Now, most recently I met you at the Lieutenant Governor's debate. What was the purpose of having those debates, and how do you guys operate? Because you try to do that, you try to open up so that people can talk.
Yeah, we want the citizens to be engaged and to see what's going on with their politicians. The problem with America is not Barack Obama, it's not Nancy Pelosi, it's really Joe and Jane Smith who are doing too much time keeping up with the Kardashians instead of keeping up with their politicians. If you take a step back and look at it, we've only got about 35% of the voting public generally turnout for an election.
That's true.
And until the American public decides that they're concerned about their future and they're concerned about their freedom, we're not going to be able to face the challenges we have ahead.
So can anybody come along to a Baton Rouge Tea Party meeting?
Sure, without a doubt. Our board meetings are open to members, but our general membership meeting is open to the entire public, and we'd love to have somebody check out our website and see if they're interested and come to our meetings.
Well, I'm not sure if we've got contact information to put on the screen. Right now we're encouraging everybody on the screen to vote on October 2nd. There we go, there's the Tea Party. Now there's a September membership meeting coming up on September the 30th at 6:30 at 3831 Lake Sherwood Avenue. So is that your home address?
No, that is the Lake Sherwood Country Club, and we encourage members to come out, encourage the viewing public to come out, and just kind of get a general idea of what we're all about.
Now, what about you? Do you aspire to political office? Do you think now you've got involved, you'd like to do something like that?
I went to school for criminal justice, and I've always believed in the concept of justice, of right and wrong. And although would love to one day get involved maybe on something like that. I just don't see that as my focus at this point.
Well, you're certainly making a difference, and I want to appreciate it. I want you to know that our door is always open to the Baton Rouge Tea Party, and I really appreciate you taking time to come in today to explain it all to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much for having us.
Try your tea.